Jungkook was doing a set of push-ups with a girl sitting on top of him, her legs crossed sitting comfortably on her boyfriend's back, while munching on her favorite chips. He was so comfortably doing the push-ups so used to the weight on his back which he preferred. Why? Aren't you tired? You're 10 times ahead of your usual ones. She looked down and pouted when he didn't reply. Putting the packet away, she laid on top of him, her arms wrapping around his well-built torso. Wine. Baby, stop. Don't tire yourself. He was getting tired, she could tell. The way he started breathing heavily, and his speed started slowing down. The veins on his arms started popping out more as his neck started turning red. Wine. I'm getting off. Jungkook. No. She sighed, knowing he always pushed himself till the end. She kissed his cheeks, resting her head on his back, till he finally couldn't do any more and rested his body down on the floor. She got off him instantly and grabbed a towel, coming back to him, sitting down on the ground beside him. He sat up, taking the towel and wiped off his sweat. Jungkook, thank you, baby. She smiled and her fingertips slowly grazed over his inked arms. She really loved his tattoos. So cool, so hot. Wine, you worked out extra today. She was casually. She was usually with him during these hours as it was the only time the both were free and could be with each other. However, today they stayed an extra hour because the guy was being competitive today. Jungkook, I enjoy a pretty ass on my back, he joked, earning a slap on his arm from her, making him laugh out. Wine, jeez, you pervert. He grabbed her wrist, pulling her closer to kiss her. Yet you pushed him away. Wine, let me go, you stink. It was her another try of trying hard to get. He smirked, making an amused expression, pulling her in a crushed tight hug. She squealed, letting out a laugh before snuggling in him. God knew how much they loved each other, how much she loved him. He was the only one who could provide her warmth, protection, and happiness. He was the only one to spoil her, and so she accepted every imperfection of his, especially the biggest truth of his life, being a mafia. Wine, drop me home, Gook. It's getting late already. Mom is going to get real mad. Jungkook, then don't go. Wine, Gook, Jungkook. I'm sorry to say, Wine, but I really hate your parents. They have no right to insult you like this and keep an eye on you. Once Jungkook dropped her home and her mother was going out somewhere and looked at Wine with anger-filled look and said, "Oh, finally you decided to come back home." That's all he knew till now, and Wine told him that they're a bit strict, but only if he knew that was not everything. If he got so worked up at that, then she was not ready to tell him how they were in real. Wine, I still have to go back. No? Jungkook, I told you a lot of times, and I will say this again. You can move in with me whenever you want. She nodded, pecking his lips, and stood up, which was kind of a hard task because he was not ready to let go. After a while, he finally dropped her home after telling her several times to call him afterwards and let him know if everyone was alright with her. Oh god, she had to push him away at the end, ran out of his car to finally get away with him. She laughed and waved off at him and then entered the home. Taking deep breaths, she decided to go straight to her home, but of course, why would luck be on her side? Once she stepped inside, everyone was on a dinner table, yet no one was eating at all, as if they were waiting for her with pissed off expressions. She was 1.5 hours late. Wine, I'm sorry. I dropped by my friend's home for a while. Her heart started beating furiously by the way his parents were eyeing her with so much anger. Here she wished she didn't return, or her Jungkook was here to protect her. Father, there's something called a cell phone, right? Wine, Dad, I'm sorry, you could have eat. She flinched, taking a step back when he slammed his hand on the table, getting off his chair out of anger. Father, learn to accept your goddamn fault. She looked down, scared yet angry at his behavior. It was a daily drama at this point, and it only angered her, no matter how much she tried to keep herself in check. One, I'm sorry. Mother, leave it, honey. Don't ruin your mood. It's her daily thing to ruin her peace. One, Mom, I only stayed out for like an hour. Can't I do that? Please don't be like this. I have a life too. Mother, life, yeah? Ruined our lives, and now you stand in front of us saying bullshit? Vine went speechless for a moment. She could never understand what she did wrong to deserve this, or really ruin their lives. It never made any sense. Vine, oh, I guess you both had a bad day at work again. Yeah, that's perfect. Come back home and take all your pent up anger on your innocent child. You know what? I'm tired of you two at this point. She threw her bag down angry and ran upstairs to her room. But her breath hissed when her father started running after her. The anger turned into sheer fear when he grabbed her hair so harshly, pulling her down with him. Father, how dare you scream at our faces? Just because you're getting this shelter and food free, you will know how to live a life on your own now. I have a taste of your medicine. He started dragging her towards the main door while she was screaming and crying to let her go, trying to free her hair as it hurts like hell. He kicked open the door and threw her out, who fell down crying, clearly having her bare knees hurt badly. He stepped forward, kneeling beside her and holding her. He was pulled back with a strong grip in his hair. A fist landed on his face, throwing him back, making his nose bleed, due to the strong punch he received. It was like seeing stars in daylight. Why? Jungkook, no! Stop! He's my father! She yelled, realizing he stayed there till she didn't confirm him that she was alright. A cry escaped her lips, knowing there was someone who truly loved her and cared for her. It was not enough to calm the raised Jungkook, who felt like he was going to murder her father out of his anger. Where the hell was he? How come he never saw what she was going through? How come he failed to protect her when he thought he was doing a great job at it? He kept landing fists on her father, not able to hear anything happening around him. She tried to stand up and stop him, and fell back down due to her knees and let out a painful sob. That's when he stopped, his anger turning into worry as he left the almost lifeless human and ran back to Ryan, kneeling down beside her. Jungkook, baby, I'm so sorry, are you okay? He cupped her cheeks, wiping her tears, and looked down at her knees. It's okay, it will heal. He picked her up, turning towards her father one last time. Her mother was busy trying to keep him stable. Jungkook, you two never deserved a kid. Saying that, he turned around, taking her with him in a rush, getting in the car, and drove out of that sight, which only angered him more and more. He stopped at a far peaceful place and treated her wounds, being extra careful whenever she winced out in pain. He hated the tears in her eyes, and that made him angry once more again. Jungkook, why didn't you tell me, Ryan? Didn't I deserve to know? Ryan, no, no, it's not like that. I knew you were not going to let me stay there anymore. Jungkook, you really wanted to stay there when you could be living with me happily. Ryan, Gook, I'm sorry. Please understand me. I know you don't care about these things, but I wanted to start a job and start earning before settling with you for my relief. That I didn't use you for my advantage. He sighed, closing his eyes. No, he wouldn't understand such formalities that never mattered to him, but he always tried to understand them for her. Jungkook, alright, I understand, but now you're living with me, and there's no way I'm sending you back to those bastards. She nodded in a way it came out so cute, while a huge pout adored her lips, making him chuckle and squish her in his arms. When I'm going to tease you a lot, huh? You will regret it. She playfully wiggled her eyebrows, laughing when he made a not so happy face. Jungkook, it's fine. I'll make sure to punish you properly, and then we'll be even. Now it was his time to laugh with a tiny face landing on his chest and red color adoring his girl's cheeks. Fine. Pervert. He felt his anger washing off, happy that she's finally moving in with him. Now he could personally make sure she was doing alright, and he did. Since the day she moved in with him, she felt like the happiest person alive. He gave her all the love and protection she deserved.